Two Cliffs Cove is located just south of Wahweap Marina, approximately in this location. Exact GPS coordinates and a Google Map link are included in the description. So if you want to visit this spot, feel free to check them out. Naming this place was fairly difficult. I looked through many maps to see if it already had a name, but had no luck. So I named it Two Cliffs Cove, because there are two cliffs in this area, one above the water and one below the water. There are also two landings at this place, one that is good for smaller vessels and one that is good for shallow draft houseboats. However, I would not recommend larger cruisers or trawlers land at this cove. I landed at the smaller landing. It was just big enough for my cruiser and my PWC. The small beach was all sand and at least 3 feet deep. On one side was a small sand beach and the other side was rocks and a steep drop-off. Mooring a boat bow out in this location will be difficult or impossible due to how deep it is just beyond this underwater drop-off. Landing is the best option for this location. It is possible that the smaller landing could accommodate larger boats, but the main issue I ran into was finding a way to anchor the boat. On one side I could only find a natural formation to tie off to, and sadly it was not as secure as I would have liked, even after I put a few 100 pounds of rocks on top of the small boulder I tied off to. On the other side was ideal conditions for one land anchor. For a larger boat this could be a much bigger problem, but your success or ability to find a good spot for an anchor may vary, so definitely check it out if it is a place you find interesting or you have a cruiser that's a little bit larger. The sand at this place was the same sand that Lake Powell is famous for. It's all powder and it's all perfect. This place also had little to no mud at all, which is a nice change from some of the places I have been. The flora here was mostly harmless bushes and well spread out. A nice change from all the tumbleweeds that can overgrow a lot of the shorelines here, and a nice change for what I'm used to dealing with. Having bare feet here is definitely an option. The only downside to this cove is its lack of protection against wakes from other boats. I was here in late November, and I will say it is not much of a problem this time of year. But for the busier times of year, it could definitely be a problem for people who do not like wakes. Sadly, I had the misfortune of being tortured by this surf boat for a few hours during my stay, but other than that, the occasional wake created by a boat or two passing by once in a while was not a big deal, and I rather enjoyed watching the boats pass by. So now that we've covered the basic features and conditions of this cove, it has a lot of other great things to it. This place is an excellent place for barefoot hiking and exploration, and definitely a kid-friendly spot, or in my case, a pet-friendly spot. There were many interesting rock formations, such as this stepped sandstone, which was very crunchy sounding when you walked over it. Large swaths of sand and gray areas to swim were abundant. The nearby cliffs were a lot of fun to explore and hike up. I would rate them as easy. This place would also make for a great place to set up a tent and camp for a few days, or PWC groups to go. Speaking of which, on the far side of the cove was a perfect spot for kayakers to land and visit. There was a small sandy, secluded washout that is perfect for kayakers as larger boats simply could not fit in it. Nestled in the middle of everything were small tafani, which are what some call the small caves created from washout. Inside of them were rock cairns, or what I call hippie stacks. I don't personally like these, but I tend to leave things as I find them, so these get to stay for the next person to knock down. If you are a stickler for staying on the boat, you won't be disappointed by the views. On the port side view was wonderful, and in my opinion greatly enhanced by the occasional boat that would pass by, and of course the sunrises here were amazing. The starboard side view wasn't as good, but was more than made up for by the port side view. Overall, I really like this spot. Due to how tight the landing is, I would only recommend experienced boaters attempt the small landing, but the larger landing located nearby should be easily accessible and require little experience to use. This place was so wonderful that I plan on bringing my family here one day, so if I can recommend it for them, I can definitely recommend it for you. If you like my videos and haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would politely ask that you do so that one day I can make some income off of my videos and hopefully go into making this kind of content full time. I appreciate everything and hope you enjoyed the video, so without taking any more of your time, this is Thor, signing out.